Rob Warne and Sophie Sierra, still together after their 90-day fiancé? 90-Day Fiancé, a happy ever after partnership? Since making their premiere in season 10 of 90-Day Fiancé, Rob Warne and Sophie Sierra's relationship has been a tangled affair. Rob, who hails from Los Angeles, California, is 33 years old, while Sophie, who is from London, UK, is 25 years old. Due to their wildly disparate upbringings, Rob and Sophie frequently argued both on and off camera. Rob claimed that Sophie was spoiled, but all she wanted was for Rob to live a better lifestyle, especially once she moved across the pond to get married. Sadly, Sophie was forced to reside in an apartment without a bathroom. Rob and Sophie were likewise keeping things from one another a secret. Bisexuality was present in Sophie. Rob's friend Tori Brooks had discovered her using the dating app Bumble. Rob, in the meantime, had cheated on Sophie with other women, but only virtually, prior to her arrival in the country on a K-1 visa. Claire Sierra, Sophie's mother, is another important character in their tale. Claire came to America as well, and her continuous reminder to Sophie was that she was making a mistake in selecting Rob. Claire was recently arrested for showing her daughter evidence of Rob's misbehavior. How did Rob and Sophie get to know each other? Rob worked as a model as one of his employment. He was once highlighted on a mixed-race male's Instagram reposting page. Sophie was interested in dating men of various races because she is biracial. She wanted to know Rob better, even though she never really showed interest in the men who commented on the page. Rob had received a message from Sophie on Instagram. Rob was being approached by numerous ladies, and Sophie was merely a coincidental follower. They were unable to stop talking on DM once they got going. On the first day, they FaceTimed non-stop for 8 hours. What time did Rob online cheat on Sophie? When Rob cheated, they had been dating for 2 years. Rob was in Los Angeles and Sophie was in the UK during COVID-19. It was alleged that Rob replied to certain communications he had received from an anonymous account. The person may have told Sophie about it in order to bring Rob to light. Sophie learned that Rob was using Snapchat to get startling footage from other women after she immigrated to the US. After being found out, Sophie had left Rob's place. She discovered that before her relocation to the United States, he had engaged in cheating with other women. In 2022, Rob and Sophie tied the knot every time they reconciled. Sophie insisted that Rob had never physically cheated on her. Sophie wanted a nice family life, which is why she was giving Rob several chances. Her mom was a heroin addict, and she had grown up in that home. Sophie recollected Claire's overdose and how she had to adopt a maternal role in order to look after her mother. To finally have a family of her own, Sophie married Rob in spite of his adultery. The pair in season 10 of 90-Day Fiancé was married in a straightforward ceremony on the beach. In May 2023, Sophie moved out of Rob's apartment. After moving to Austin, Texas, the pair settled down there with Rob's dog and his collection of tarantulas. When Sophie stepped in front of the camera for 90-Day Fiancé, happily ever after, she had already left Rob's home season 8. When it came to Rob, Sophie always followed her instincts. She looked through Rob's phone and discovered that when he cheated on her, he had spoken to other women online. Sophie determined it would be better to break up with Rob. Rob suspected her of sleeping with her best friend Kay, with whom she moved in. In April 2024, Sophie and Rob shot 90-Day, The Last Resort. When Sophie and Rob filmed season 8 of 90-Day Fiancé, happily ever after, they were apart for 2 months. The couple's efforts to reconcile have been chronicled in the episodes. In the most recent episode, they went to couples counseling. Despite having no sexual life together, Rob and Sophie decided to make adjustments in order to be back together. Given that there have been reports that Sophie and Rob filmed season 2 of 90-Day, The Last Resort in Arizona, it appears that the exercise was in vain. For split couples, the spin-off is the final straw. It's interesting to note that Rob and Sophie divorced after less than a year of marriage, according to an In Touch piece from March 2024. Rob and Sophie had not been together since after a quarrel when she moved in with her friend Kay, a source told the tabloid. After Rob and Sophie's May 2023 separation, Sophie moved in with Kay. Rob and Sophie broke up a year ago, and it doesn't seem like their relationship has improved since they shot 90 Day, The Last Resort. Since Claire revealed Rob's abuse, Sophie is standing up for him. Rob and Sophie's romance gained notoriety once more in May 2024 when Claire made some personal films that Sophie had sent her public. These videos were posted by Sophie's mother on Instagram via MaryPants. One of the films, which was taken more than 2 years ago when Sophie was still engaged to Rob, shows him requesting her phone back because he had paid for it. He insisted that Sophie pay for her phone and wished to damage it. Claire claimed that Sophie had no money because she was unable to work while in the United States on a K-1 visa and did not appear to have any savings. Sophie announced to her fan base that she would be creating a video explaining the events between her and her mother. Sophie adopted Rob's stance, asserting that he had never harmed her. Sophie was adamant that her mother was attempting to harm her. Although Sophie could not identify Claire, she accused the video poster of blackmailing her. She said the individual was experiencing mental health problems. Claire, who maintained that she was providing financial support to Sophie at the time the Rob abuse films were recorded, created a carousel of movies in which she discussed how Sophie had not paid her back and how she was broke. It said that Rob has a new girlfriend. According to TV Shows, Rob has reportedly already moved on from Sophie. The magazine released a screen grab from a video that Rob just uploaded to his Instagram stories, in which an unidentified woman is featured. Rob shared a video of sports vehicles in a showcase window and made fun of his new girlfriend. He didn't want to focus on the woman who had been in the video. Rob, nevertheless, continues to share the video without cropping the woman, implying that he's prepared to declare the relationship on Instagram. Rob has started dating and might have already found his next love interest. After their split, Rob and Sophie are still friends. Sarcasm claims that Claire was detained and sent into Williamson County Jail for terroristic threat of a family or household member. According to reports, Claire threatened to harm Sophie before taking her own life, according to Rob's friend Tori. Rob and Sophie haven't said anything since hearing of Claire's imprisonment, but the fact that Sophie is sticking by Rob in spite of their breakup suggests that the 90-day fiancé, happily ever after, couple broke up but is still friends. Fascinatingly, Rob is currently not in Austin and isn't even in the same place as Sophie and her mother, according to Tori's purported texts via Kiki and Kibitz.